It's the beginning of November. We went camping last November and we had beautiful weather. It was warm, sunny, 8 to 12 degrees. A little bit different this time.
Well, it is November, so we're not expecting many people in the park. And this part of the park has just been empty for quite a while, and we weren't anticipating anyone being here, but when we saw the trees across the road, we knew there was no one here.
Coming up the road that accesses the entry point for Kingscote Lake, we came across some branches that were lying in the way, had to hop out of the car, move them out of the way. But then we came across a whole tree.
We've been stopped. There's a fallen tree across the road. So clearly nobody else is in there, but we've got to saw some of this so that we can actually get through it. Just before we get in the canoe, we were checking out some of the campsites that are right near the launch point. I guess these are in case you want to come in by car or in an emergency. If you're, I don't know, if you were here, I guess you'd be packed up, ready to go. But this is one of them is not that bad, actually. I'm tempted to say, hey, let's camp here because there's lots of trees. I can easily hang my tent. Yeah, we'll see. We're going to paddle out into the lake and check out some sites and see which ones we like best.
Go across the bay over to here and check out these 3 sites.
We arrived, it was sort of misty rain.
The other issue was the rain. You know, we got here and set up our tents and everything before too much rain, but yeah. Thankfully, we got it set up before the rain.
We're expecting it to be kind of cold at night. Looks like it could go down like -3, -4 at night. So I wanted to try something different with my tent, which is something I'm going to use when we go winter camping. I've got both the floor and the tent. They're going to be sandwiched together, hooked onto the same straps, so that I can slide my sleeping pads in between, which should give me the insulation I need. And also they shouldn't slide around underneath me like they do when they're inside the tent.
Not too long after we set up our tents, it did start to rain a little bit. We set up a couple of tarps and sat under those to keep dry.
And we had to gather a lot of firewood because we knew it was going to rain later on. So we got the tarp set up and got quite a bit of big size wood gathered up to have a good fire, because we knew it was going to be a chilly, damp evening, and it was. We don't have a grill. I don't know how we're going to cook our food.
So we had a fire in the evening, it kept us warm, we had dinner. Both of us went to bed quite early. We'd been up early in the morning, so we were quite tired. Plus, it was raining on and off. By the time I got in my tent, it started to pour.
I've been in my tent for about an hour and a half. It's been pouring, absolutely pouring. There was a little break for about maybe 10 minutes, but this is crazy. It's just coming down like nobody's business. It's loud. It's pooling up in my fly, so I have to keep knocking it out of the fly. It's gonna be a fun night. Good morning. There was sun for a brief moment when I got up this morning. It was shining on my tent. Then I got up. And within 5 minutes it was gone. And it's raining again. here is my omelet, all done. I've got some cheese in there, some green onion, some piri-piri chicken, and of course the egg, all boiled up in a baggie. Works absolutely great.
Then we decided to go in the canoe and check out some of the other sites around till we could find a grate. And we just went to I don't even know if it was an old site or not, or if it was an abandoned cottage of some kind, but you could tell there were some old ruins around, a big fire chimney that was there at one time. It was kind of neat just to look around the area.
You're not allowed to camp there, unfortunately, because it would have been a really cool place to camp. Coming back from there, as I'm shoving off the rock, the front seat in the canoe breaks.
It's not the first seat he's crashed.
This is the second time this has happened to me. I don't know, is it me? Or what? I have no idea.
So we just came back to camp because it was kind of a destroyed seat. It's a little bit tougher to canoe in. So.
We decided to go hiking over to the campsite that's next to ours. It's probably, I don't know, good 250 to 300 meters away from here. And we had to sort of bushwhack through the forest. Found our way there quite easily. It's a nice little site. I wouldn't have minded actually camping there. It's somebody set up like a table where you can lay out your stuff and cook. There's log benches around the fire, a couple of great spots for Tim to put his tent, good spots for me to hang my tent. It would have been nice to camp there, but we are where we are, and that's fine.
One nice thing about this time of year is all the trees are bare, so you can see for a long ways in the forest. So it's really neat hiking through here. Nice waterfalls and little streams coming down everywhere. It's kind of a neat time of year though. Well, there's always something interesting that happens when you're camping, and this trip is no different. Just so happens after I went out and gathered some wood in the canoe, came back, and we had the wood in the top of the canoe, so it kind of kept it in place on the shoreline, which is perfect. But then once we took the wood out and we started cutting it up, I thought, oh, I better bring the canoe back up on shore. Well, I was about 30 seconds too late. The canoe started to drift off into the bay. Let me tell you, that water is cold.
It's a good thing you're silhouetted.
Refreshing. Oh. Holy breathing.
Today is Saturday, our second last day. The night wasn't too bad. No rain last night, which was nice, but it did get quite cold. I'm thinking it was probably about -3, -4 during the night, and it was definitely cold when we woke up.
It's one of those mornings you just want to stay curled up and nice and cozy in there, because when it's chilly outside, you somehow just don't want to get out into it.
But today has basically just been a cold, gray day. I decided to take down my tent because I looked at the weather forecast and it said it's going to rain all night, through the night, all day tomorrow, 60, 70, 80, 90% chance of rain. So I did not want to be packing up that tent in the rain. It takes a long time to get down, and I would have just got soaked. It would have just got soaked, and it just wouldn't have been pleasant. So the tent is packed. I set up my hammock under some trees and under where I had placed the tarp, and I put my walls up beside it. So I should be fine in there.
Well, it's morning.
Made it through the night. Didn't really get wet, although I could feel the rain blowing in every now and then. It's coming from the one direction where there is no tarp. But it wasn't too bad a night. Oh, still tired. I was awake for a lot of it, but managed to stay mostly dry and warm. But now I've got to get up, get out of here and back and paddle out, and it's on and off rain and very windy at times.
Well, just about packed up. Just a few more things to do. My tarp. Tim has another tarp. And then I think we're pretty much good to go.